As a kid, one of my favorite shows to watch in the mornings before school was Garfield and Friends, and I'm so happy that Verve is now offering Garfield and Friends to stream, as well as other cartoons and anime from our childhoods. vrv.co/geekdom. Try it for 30 days for free. The link will be in the description. Try it out. You know, as much as Yamcha has become a meme and the butt of many jokes in Dragon Ball, when you go all the way back to the beginning, you'd be surprised to know that the very first technique involving energy, involving ki, the very first special move that we see in Dragon Ball is from Yamcha, even before the Kamehameha, and that is the Wolf Fang Fist, otherwise known in its original language as the Roga Fufu Ken. And on this edition of the Technique Guide, I will tell you all of the deep secrets behind this move. The Roga Fufu Ken literally translates to Wolfgang Gale Fist, but is most commonly referred to as Wolf Fang Fist. And this is not only Yamcha's signature technique, but also the first technique in the entirety of Dragon Ball that uses ki energy as its primary source of power. But unlike the Kamehameha or the Final Flash of the future, when it comes to the Wolf Fang Fist, ki does not necessarily disperse from Yamcha's body. On the contrary, he uses ki to enhance his senses like a wolf. In other words, his speed goes up, his strength goes up, his agility goes up, and also his senses, his actual sight, hearing, and everything else increase and improve for better combat accuracy. Now, in the past, we've discussed how much Toriyama loves the story of the Wolfman, not just in the way he incorporated the werewolf at the moon ideals for the Uzaru transformation in Dragon Ball the Great Ape form, but also with characters like Man Wolf that would appear in the 22nd tournament. Toriyama has always been like a big fan of old school movies, classic cinema and whatnot from both the West and the East, but when it comes to the Wolf Fang Fist, that is not derived from the Wolfman whatsoever, even though it may seem like it is on the surface. On the contrary, the idea behind the Wolf Fang Fist and the concept behind it actually goes to Eastern philosophy, and that is the power of the wolf in martial arts. In the ancient world, martial artists would study the animals of the animal kingdom and try to incorporate their fighting style in the wild into possible fighting styles or possible fighting philosophies for us as human beings, and the wolf was one of those many animals. Wolves are very vicious in battle, and that concept could be carried over into real combat. So if you study the wolf and you incorporate that into martial arts, which many have done for hundreds of years, you'll notice that the wolf's techniques are very much low range, quick strikes, powerful strikes, and takedowns. Some have actually said that the style of judo borrows a lot from the wolves and how they fight, obviously mixed in with other things, but a lot of it having to do with takedowns to bring your opponent to the ground. So there is a variety of takedowns and lunges and sweeps and whatnot in the wolf style, but also it requires a tremendous amount of conditioning for your legs and for your hands to properly execute this quick style. The wolf style, along with the Wolf Fang Fist, is meant to take out your opponent quickly, allowing the user to restrain and control whoever he has taken down. All of these discoveries were made during the 1600s, and if you want to read about more of this kind of stuff, look up the Taoist or Taoist 8 animal martial arts philosophies, and they'll tell you all about it. I'm sure you've heard of it before if you watched other shonen manga, anime, or watched Sentai or whatever. You've seen the tiger style and the snake style and all that. The wolf style is really no different. Even though it's not one of the core animals, it's still one that is discussed in martial arts and has been for many years. Now, when Yamcha does this technique in Dragon Ball, his eyes become pupilless, which we've actually seen with future transformations, but Yamcha did it here for the first time ever in the series, and the spirit of the wolf, obviously it's supposed to be symbolic, it's not an actual wolf, but the spirit of the wolf sort of consumes Yamcha, and you see it kind of controlling or at least assisting in his strikes. And it's interesting because Toriyama chooses to portray this as Yamcha actually becoming a wolf or wolf-like in the manga, which to me kind of somewhat parallels the Dragon Fist and what happens to Goku, but we already talked about that on the previous edition of the technique guide. And as Yamcha comes in for the attack, he uses a lot of palm strikes. Now, these palm strikes are known as butterfly palms or embracing holding palms in martial arts, and this is classic Mandarin Kung Fu. I mean, there's nothing crazy about this or too indistinguishable from martial arts films if you've seen them, but Yamcha effectively uses this move to quickly take out an opponent. But of course, we're talking about Yamcha here, so that doesn't always work. Now, the highlight of the use of this move, and actually in many ways one of the best Yamcha moments in Dragon Ball, was during the 22nd Tenkaichi Budokai as he faced off against Ten Shinhan and debuted the Shin Roga Fufu Ken, which is basically the new or the super Wolf Fang Fist. This is from Dragon Ball episode 87, and really one episode that needs to be seen in Japanese to be really appreciated, because in the Japanese version they play a special song called Wolf Hurricane as he does this awesome new version of his classic move. But it's not enough, and if you remember the episode, you know that Yamcha still takes an L during this tournament fight. But nonetheless, it's still good to see him developing his technique and making it more powerful than it was before. Now, this is a Yamcha exclusive technique. In other words, it's one that he essentially invented, and he's the only character to really do this technique, with the exception of Gotenks in the Yo Son Goku and His Friends Return 2008 OVA, where he did his version of the Roga Fufu Ken. But that was the last time we saw the move, or was it? Let's not forget, in the baseball episode of Dragon Ball Super, probably my favorite episode of all time as far as how fun it is and how much enjoyment I got out of it, we see Yamcha debut the Wolf Fang Pitch, or the Wolf Fang Pitch Fist. And that was a clever way of them bringing back the Roga Fufu Ken, even if it was for comedy purposes. Either way, no matter which way you slice it, this is the first key technique in Dragon Ball, the first one to use ki or chi energy, however you want to call it, and it will be remembered as such. And yes, it was from Yamcha, a meme in the Dragon Ball fandom, but still a cool character if you ask me, with a really awesome technique. Thanks for watching this edition of the Technique Guide. Like, share, subscribe, you know the whole drill. And if you like this video, check these out as well. And have a great rest of your day. I'll catch you in the next one.